We try to live stream our meeting as well, so we don't have to record it.
Shall we start?
Yes, sir, Mr. Sergeant at Arms. Over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 7th meeting of Bahrain Finance Professionals meeting. Happily, we are now reaching the 7th meeting, which is a very good milestone, which deserves a very good clap. I would like to thank you all for your commitment to this club. And I would like to remind you as well of Toastmaster values, which is integrity, respect, service, and excellence. We aim to make this club a part where all of us develop, all of us have an opportunity to communicate, to develop our skills, and hopefully we can reach this goal by our hopefully 50th meeting. So inshallah, we reach that. Without much further ado, I would just like to highlight that if you can put on your cameras on, it will be perfect. And you can just put yourself on mute at all times, only if when you're going to speak. And over to our distinguished Toastmaster, Hisham Jeffrey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Ali. A big round of applause for our Sergeant at Arms. Ladies and gentlemen, meeting number 7 is hereby called to order. We don't have any guests today, but I do have 2 recorded apologies, one from our Vice President Education and the other from our Treasurer. Both will be unable to make it today. And I also believe our Vice President membership is undergoing surgery. He said he had an issue with stones in the kidney. So we wish him well, and I really hope he will be back with us as well. Those are the recorded apologies that I have for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at meeting number 7. We are in the month of October, and this is Founders Month. Our founding father, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, in the year 1924, in Santa Ana, California, in the basement of the YMCA, set forth this great movement that we are part of today. But a little known fact is that 19 years before the movement was successful, in 1905, when Dr. Ralph C. Smedley initially started off this movement, it failed miserably. It took him 19 years of trying to relaunch it successfully, and today we celebrate 97 years of Toastmastering in the world. Pound for pound, dollar for dollar, BD for BD, it is the most value for money communication and leadership program that is available out there. So today we are part of a centuries-old program of success, and the program that we follow now is Pathways, and it has proven to be a resilient movement. Today is meeting number 7, and as I speak to you, we are 7 in this room today. And where few are gathered, definitely with determination, we will be able to move forward. I look forward to hearing your speeches, the evaluations, and the table topic commentaries, and I'm sure that meeting number 7, under the able guidance of our Toastmaster of the day and under this very special theme, will be an entertaining, educating, and also memorable event. Fellow Toastmasters. It's time now to hear from the officers, and since we are rather short of our officers, we should be able to finish off our business session rather quickly. Mr. Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Ali, anything to report from your end?
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing to report so far.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ali. We are missing our treasurer, so let me move directly to our secretary. Toastmaster Minam, anything to report from your end?
And thank you, Mr. President. No, nothing to report from my side.
Thank you, Toastmaster Minam. Mr. Secretary, welcome back from your vacation. It's really nice to see your smiling face, and I look forward to hearing you speak very soon as well. Let us go on to our Vice President of Public Relations, Toastmaster Manisha. Anything to report? The floor is yours.
Mr. President, I would like to report that all our social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn is active. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, we have already started uploading content. For LinkedIn, we will upload the articles that the members provided once we release the magazine. So I would like all of you to, I would like to request from all of you, visit our social media, subscribe, like, and share with your friends, as well as and I would like to inform that we have selected the winner for Name It contest, but I will hold the good news. I will hold the news. I will not release it now. We are planning to release our magazine at the next meeting. Then we will announce, and then you will see who the winner is. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President of Public Relations. I really look forward to hearing the name that has been chosen for the newsletter, as well as eagerly waiting to see who the winner of the Name the Newsletter competition is. I believe we are missing our Vice President membership, Toastmaster Amir, the Vice President Education. So that brings us to the end of the education session. Would someone please propose to close? Oh, before we go ahead, any other business to be discussed? I do have one piece of news, and that is from District 20. For all these years, the last 4 years, District 20 has been Bahrain and Kuwait. But now we have 2 new members joining the District 20 family, and that is Iraq and Egypt. So District 20 has now doubled in size. We have 4 countries in District 20, Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq, and Egypt. So we will see them at the District Council meetings, and we will see them for the first time at the DTAC that will happen sometime next year as well. In the absence of any other business, can someone propose to close the business session?
Mr. President, as the area director, I would just want to, it's not part of the business session, but I just want to announce that we are going to have the area council meeting shortly. So we'd like to have the trio of the club joining the council and definitely being participating actively. And that's going to happen next week. So I've still not got the council added across in the group. We'll soon do that, and we expect BFP to be on the top. And also, if you would like to recommend, Toastmaster Nihal has said that she's taken a small break at the moment. So she was the area secretary, and she was from the BFP Toastmasters. If you'd like to recommend somebody else to be on a place at the stage, the area secretary's post is open. So, Mr. President, and the
So we do have some very eager faces around. So apart from the 2 obvious candidates who you must exclude, please feel free, lady and gentlemen, please do help our area director. The area secretary opportunity is a great opportunity. So Toastmaster Khalil, Toastmaster Latifa, Toastmaster Ali, or Toastmaster Minam, please do speak to Toastmaster Santosh, our area director. And it's a great leadership opportunity, fantastic opportunity for networking. It's a new area and amazing opportunity to learn from the best that is on offer in this program as well. Thank you, Mr. Area Director. I really appreciate it.
With that, I end my announcement as Area Director. As a mentor, I would just want to encourage the members to complete your level 1 and level 2s, not just for the fact of you achieving your DCP points. Yes, that's also a priority as area director. But I want some very good competitors from here going across for the international speech contest. We're going to have that in just 2-3 months' time. 2 months, 2.5 months, we're going to have the contest. I know you have a champion sitting here, your own president, but we would like to have others also coming up to contest. So you need to complete your level 2 to contest. So please come up. And Latifa is already on the stage moving across. Let's let others also come up aggressively. That's all from my part. Back to you, Mr. President.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for those very, very encouraging words, Mr. Area Director, and very well noted. And let us see to get our competitors on the stage as well. In the absence of any other business, can someone propose to close the business session?
I propose, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mentor and Mr. Area Director. Can someone second the proposal?
Mr. President, I second that proposal.
Thank you very much, Madam VPPR. That ends the business session, which brings us to the second segment of our meeting, which is the education session. And today's education session is different. And I remember that in a discussion that we held about a month and a half ago on WhatsApp, one person mentioned that he likes chess and the other person mentioned that he likes sports. And that is why one of our meetings was held under the theme of chess. And this theme is being held under the theme of the unifying power of sports. To take us through this education session under this very first and very special meeting, the first team meeting that we have had under the theme of sports and this dress code, it's my very great pleasure to welcome our Sergeant at Arms, who will act as our Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Ali, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this brief and introduction. My name is Ali, as you all know. I am your Sergeant at Arms, and today I will be your Toastmaster of the day. It's my first time, so expect some, I don't know, whatever, you know. So just bear with me. Before I start, I would like to highlight the theme of this meeting, which is sports. And I would like to ask you guys, what is your favorite sports? So, Mr. President, if you can go first.
Yes, of course. So the sport that I most watch is cricket, but the sport that is close to my heart is rugby.
Cool. I never understood cricket, to be honest, but I see a lot of fellows play it. Any other person who wants to share their favorite sport?
That I love again is cricket, just like our president said. The sport that I do play is basketball. And so both of them, I've been pretty good at hockey when back in school, but then I don't play anymore. So all the three comes into as great sports for me. Yes, back to you.
That's good. Thank you for sharing. Khalil, I think you raised your hand.
Yes. I grew up liking and loving football, so that's the first one. When it comes to like admiring something else, basketball comes second, as it's growing in popularity now in Bahrain also. But all in all, I see sports as a unified thing. Wherever I see people doing sports, I enjoy watching it. I enjoy doing it. So
I second that. I couldn't agree more. Thank you for sharing and thank you for attending as well. It's a pleasure to see you today. So without taking much time, I would like to, let's say, hit two birds in one stone and introduce today our AH counter and our timer, which is our distinguished Toastmaster, Mr. Hisham. Mr. Hisham, can you give us a brief about your two roles today?
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Absolutely. And the first role that I will perform is the role of the timer. Time and tide, wait for no man. And timing is something that we take very, very seriously in Toastmasters. I will be timing the prepared speeches, the evaluations, and the table topics, as well as monitoring the general timing of the meeting. For prepared speeches, and the prepared speeches today are 5 to 6 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will change the virtual background to green. At 6 minutes, I will change the virtual background to amber or yellow. And at 7 minutes, I will change the virtual background to red, which will remain on display until the speaker ends. The qualifying time is 7 minutes and 30 seconds, beyond which the speaker will be disqualified. For evaluation, the permitted time is 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will display the green virtual background. At 2.5 minutes, the amber or yellow virtual background, and at 3 minutes, I will display the red virtual background. It will remain displayed. The qualifying time is 2 minutes and 30 seconds, beyond which the speaker will be disqualified. That is, the maximum time is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. For table topics, Time permitted is 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will display the green virtual background. At 1.5 minutes, the yellow or amber virtual background. And at 2 minutes, the red virtual background, which will remain until the speaker or the table topics commentator has finished speaking. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the speaker will be disqualified. I look forward to giving the timer's report when called upon by the general evaluator during the general evaluation session. My second role is the role of arc counter. We like our language to be resilient. We like our language to be smooth and flowing. And words such as you know, what, whatever, I mean, these words impede the flow of the language. So my role as arc counter is to monitor the use of these gap fillers and crutch words so that at the next time of delivering speeches, we are able to eliminate or reduce their usage so that the speech becomes beautiful and flowing. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this brief. Our second role player of the day, which is our grammarian, Toastmaster Minam Aziz. Over to you for a brief explanation of your role.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. So my role today will be grammarian role, and I will be noting down the use of language and the grammar of all the participants, and then at the end I will be presenting my report. And the other task which I will be doing today will be keep track of word of the day and how it will be used during the meeting. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Minam. Our fourth role player, or third, sorry, of the day, the resilient person who is always happy, and I can sense his energy all the time. Toastmaster Santosh Abraham, over to you to introduce us to your role.
Thank you, Toastmaster Day, Toastmaster Ali, fellow Toastmaster Day, fellow Toastmasters. My role today is the general evaluator, as the role, as you all would know, is to evaluate the meeting right from the beginning to end. So it's a very comprehensive role. Because it's a comprehensive role, I cannot do this alone. So I've got a lot of wonderful professionals to assist you. We don't call it a lot. We have absolutely superb professionals holding dual hats, triple hats, 4 hats today. But they are all going to support me in this role today. And I'll be giving my report at the end of the meeting when called upon to do so. That's all. And back to you, Toastmaster Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Santosh. As we are all now aware of the roles, let us move to our 2 speeches of the day. Our first speaker of the day, she have a really, really good sense of humor. She also have, I saw her one time, and I remember 2 words from our speech, which is, you can do it. And it was stuck in my mind from that day. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Toastmaster Latifa Swaleh and her speech, Little Yet Big Recognitions. Over to you, Toastmaster Latifa.
Thank you. I just would like to screen share, please. Please don't start the timer.
Can you share screen now, Toastmaster Latifa?
Sure, one moment. Okay, it's not allowing me to share screen for some reason, something to do with my system preferences. I'm so sorry. I prepared a really nice presentation, but it's okay. I think my voice would suffice for that. Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and Toastmaster of the Day. Today, I'm going to be speaking about how to appreciate employees on a non-monetary incentive. So studies have shown that when employees are more satisfied with their organizations, they're more productive, and they're less likely to leave. And that's recognizing and empowering employees can really increase motivation and improve their performance as well. Many employees right now are under a lot of strain and stress, and at the same time, organizations have they're forced to downsize and restructure with having burned out employees. So managers are stuck with twin-sided challenges. How can they keep employees engaged without breaking their bank? So to answer this question, a nonprofit organization called What Works conducted a series of studies on how to, cost-effective ways on how to boost employee motivation and happiness. And while many organizations have traditionally used monetary incentive to boost employee morale, but there's recent research that showed that symbolic awards like congratulatory certificates, public recognition, cards can significantly increase their intrinsic motivation and their morale as well. So one of the studies have shown that when you send out personalized letters of home appreciation using the manager's handwriting, a study was done whereby half of the employees received that personalized letter and the other half did not receive that letter. So one of the letters included, your work has consistently had positive impact on work. So what did they find? They found that 1 month later after receiving that letter, the social workers who received that letter reported feeling significantly more valued, more recognized for their work, and more supported by their organization than those compared who didn't receive their letter. So that's one way of showing non-monetary appreciation to your employees. Another way of it is by making it public. So private feedback is, yes, it's appropriate in some situations. However, public recognition, such as awarding certificates during, for instance, a team meeting, can be one, cost-effective to motivate the entire team, because public recognition can be more impactful to the recipient, but also at the same time, it can boost motivation among all the other attendees as well. So researchers have found that performance will increase because the employees who are there will feel like, okay, I need to be a top performer as well. I want to be recognized too. And they would want to measure up and put the ceiling up higher. There's one drawback to this though, because it will increase competition amongst others and there will be self-comparison between the both. The third is flexible working. With COVID-19, flexible working has shown to be one of the most popular work perks out there. And as a reward, you can offer your employees the opportunity to work from home or switch around their hours if they work a very long time. So this level of flexibility can be adjusted for employees as a really great non-monetary reward option. In contrast, research does suggest that symbolic interventions such as thank you for doing your job well, appreciating your employees can make a really huge impact without actual potential downsides to the cash aspects or monetary aspects towards that organization, and with little or no cost to the employer. So during these exceptional and challenging times, a bit of appreciation can really go a long way. Thank you. I really hope I made the time.
Thank you, Toastmaster Latifa. I don't know if you guys want to have thoughts about the speech, about the actual speech. So for me, I would agree to what you said, that monetary aspect does not always come first. Appreciation and being recognized is always on top of my lists. So if anyone wants to share their ideas.
Toastmaster Day, I totally agree with it. As the general manager of a company, we use monetary benefits. Of course, there's nothing to meet monetary benefits, but on top of all that, flexibility is one thing which I've seen people really appreciating. Flexibility in work hours, flexibility, especially during the COVID-19 times. There are people who decided to stick on with our company just because we have a work from home option. And especially ladies, ladies have found this as very suitable option. Secondly, we have these motivational certificates coming up with people meeting at least some base levels. So, and that is something which I had adopted out. Then people have really stuck to it. They've got even 20 to 35% hike and they have decided not to leave. So I think Toastmaster Latifa has come up with some practical insights today. And really thank you for that.
Personally, I really enjoy my work because as demanding as it is, I really love it because one, I have really flexible hours. The feedback that I give is being really heard by the upper management. So I feel like that the work that I put into does not go to waste, and my input and my opinions are being heard and not like kept under the rug, for instance. So I think yes, monetary is important, but being appreciated and being heard is really important. It's more important, honestly.
No, nobody will stick your opinions under the rug because naturally it's got a lot of common sense embedded in it. That's why. Back to you, sir. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Does anyone wants to share his thoughts or anything? Yes.
I would just like to, yes, let me defer to Toastmaster Khalil. Toastmaster Khalil.
Thank you. I have to agree with Latifa here because, to be honest, feeling appreciated does not make you feel like you have a commitment. As long as you feel the work itself, even the working hours, when it's flexible, it gets mixed through your day. So you don't have this feeling of the application. I have to work from this time to this time. As long as I have to finish my duties in the right time or the right time range, I have the flexibility to do that, and I am being appreciated for that as well. That's a bonus point. This does not disqualify the monetary appreciation, of course, but I think this comes second if it's not ties in the first place as well.
Thank you.
Great opinion. And if I may just add something, I mean, the monetary impact is the security factor. You need a certain amount of money to make sure that you have a place to live, food to eat, clothes to wear, and you're able to take care of your family. But studies do show that after a certain time period, more money doesn't make you more happy. So then what makes you happy is the ability to make a difference. One of my favorite quotes comes from Rick Warren, and he says, the purpose of life is to live with a purpose. And I always find that to be so very true. I mean, when it comes to it, as Toastmaster Khalil said, he is not a morning person, but he wakes up with a smile because the job gives him so much satisfaction. And I think this speech really goes to epitomize that. Thank you, Toastmaster Latifa. Back to you, Mr. Tim.
Thank you, Mr. President. Moving forward to our second speaker of the day, a person who is always patient with me. He gives me a lot of roles and I always delay them, but eventually I get the work done because I love how patient is he with me. Our second speaker, title of his speech is COVID Calamities. Over to you, Mr. President, and I don't need to introduce you further.
The COVID-19 time period has been an excellent time for all Toastmasters. The reason I say this is, for people who like to do the grammarian role, vaccine, quarantine, pandemic, what wonderful new words that we have learned. And if you take people who like to be the general evaluator or evaluators, we can always open up the BeWare app and say, it was 1,000 cases yesterday, 800 today, so 1,800, another 200 recovered yesterday. So are they in hospital? Are they at home? Are they in self-quarantine? Are they in the airport? So this allows us enough and more opportunity to evaluate, and many people have taken that opportunity. But it has been a real eye-opening factor for the R counters. You know why? Because with the plethora and menu of vaccines that we have, Moderna, Sinopharm, Pfizer, Mr. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, good evening to you. The COVID-19 pandemic has given us opportunity, adversity, and it has taught me a few lessons as well. The purpose of my speech today is to present to you a few of these lessons. On the 20th of April, 2021, I had the result of my 4th PCR test. Test number 1 was negative, I was really happy. Test number 2 was negative, I was very happy. Test number 3 was negative, I was very happy. I have never been so happy to get negative failing results in any exam in my life. But now I was very happy. But unfortunately, 4th time was not so lucky, and it was the red sign. I was positive. At about midnight on that day, I received the phone call from the Ministry of Health. And the person on the other side said, please make sure that you report to the Shamil Field Hospital tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And I was like, yes, sir, definitely, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, as you know, as finance professionals, we want to be really careful with what we do. So I went on Google, I found the address, I found the image, I found the location, and I thought I found everything necessary to be resilient to get to the Shamil Field Hospital. The next day I got into my car, I started driving, and about halfway there, the car started beep, 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 and I found out that the right rear tire was short of air. How ironic. The tire is short of air, and because of COVID-19, my lungs are also short of air. I continued to drive, and as I went on, the car then went beep, beep, beep. And it said, your petrol is now only there for 40 kilometers more. No air, no petrol. I get to the Shamil Field Hospital just in time before 10 o'clock. And would you know it, there is also no parking. So I had to come out and then park outside, heart in the mouth. I go in. And as I get out of the car, I take off my sunglasses and I put on my normal glasses, and then I wear my mask and I walk into the Shamil Field Hospital looking like this. As I went in, the receptionist looked like I was a character from one of those old Wild West movies. I went to the doctor, and then she looked at me like I was a gangster in a James Bond movie. I went to the dispensary where the dispenser looked like I was about to steal his wallet. And I was wondering, I'm a Toastmaster. I'm saying hello, I'm saying hi, and I'm being very friendly to them. I got back to my car rather disappointed. And then when I looked in the rear view mirror, I understood what the problem was. The first lesson that the pandemic taught me was assume nothing, check everything. Now, after 10 days of self-isolation, after 10 days of quarantine, I came out, and would you know it, one of the side effects of the COVID-19 pandemic is an increased appetite. I couldn't wait to get out there and have my favorite breakfast, because right across my office from BIBF, there's a wonderful sandwich shop which has excellent karak tea, and my stomach was rumbling, my brain was craving for karak and sandwich. I went and I ordered 2 egg sandwiches and 1 karak, and the bill came to the usual 700 fils. But I did not have cash in my wallet. But thanks to modern technology, we have benefit pay. I took my phone and I typed in 700 and I pressed send, and only then did I realize that instead of transferring 700 fills, I had transferred 700 BD. Thankfully, in 10 seconds, the correct shop owner was able to transfer back to me the same 700 fills. But I still had the same 700 BD. But he said, sir, when you're paying the 700 fills back to me, you please pay 150 fills extra. I didn't take it too seriously. 150 fills after the aftermath of 700 BD sounded quite okay to me. Only later, while sipping the karak, being a finance professional, calculating the numbers, I found out that 150 fills on 700 BD for 10 seconds is an applicable interest rate of 185% per day. The second lesson that I learned from the COVID-19 pandemic: pause before you pay. My dear friends, the pandemic is here today, gone tomorrow. And in the famous words, tough times never last, but tough people do. Make sure that you take the lessons, be resilient, and you go on with these lessons stronger than ever before. Back to you, Mr. Tiyamudi.
Thank you, Mr. President, for such powerful and energetic speech. Dear fellow Toastmasters, we now move forward to our table topics. Over to Toastmaster Manisha to take up this role. Over to you, Toastmaster Manisha.
President, sorry, I do apologize. Sorry, Manisha, you're going to say something? I do apologize. There is a small amendment to the agenda. The table topics master will be me as well, because okay, Toastmaster Manisha is taking the evaluation. Let me now speak about the table topics. Ladies and gentlemen, table topics is one of the most interesting and look forward to segment in Toastmasters. And this is, to me personally, the most applicable and practical skill, out of our most wonderful program. Table topics is the skill of being able to speak apparently without preparation, but in actual fact, there is preparation involved. Proper preparation prevents particularly poor performance. And therefore, today we want to test ourselves with table topics. We are few. We are 7 minus 8 of us minus myself, that's 7. So I will now try to give all of us a table topic, simple in nature, but let us see how we perform in terms of the table topics. And as you know, in true signature BFP manner, we will use our random name selector wheel in order to select the victims. No, not victims. The resilient table topics commentators. If you're ready, let us have our first speaker. And first speaker is also going to be our first table topics commentator, Toastmaster Latifa. Your topic is, what is your favorite sport and why? Toastmaster Latifa, your topic is, what is your favorite sport and why?
I'm sorry, but I'm in a call right now. I'll be the next speaker, please.
No problem at all. So that means we have a second speaker. Let me share our screen and let us pick who the second table topics commentator would be. Let us spin the wheel. Oh, the wheel certainly loves Toastmaster Latifa. I do apologize. Let me spin the wheel one more time. And Toastmaster Khalil, your topic is, if you could play any sport in the world to the best of your ability, what sport would that be? If you could play any sport in the world to the best of your ability, what sport would that be? Toastmaster Khalil, the screen is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would anyone just remind me with the time ranges, so just I program myself into it?
Most definitely. It's 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, you will see the green light. At 2 minutes, at 1.5 minutes, you will see the yellow light. At 2 minutes, you will see the red light.
Thank you. Okay, so when you say that I want to be a sports person, which I am, I see myself as a sports person. I get myself involved in everything. I'm not ashamed of playing. Like I suck at playing. I just aim to have fun, and this is the main thing for me. Until now, I can proudly say that at least I mastered somehow the techniques, or let's say how to play it, how to get back home before getting that shower. I will be self-satisfied about myself. But the only sport that I wanted to do, or let's say to practice, and I wasn't able to, is playing baseball. Hollywood has a big impact on me, and in any film that you watch, you will see people like playing baseball. I never understood it. I just see people having rackets, throwing balls, and basically all of the teams, or all of them are winners. They always go party and everything. So all in all, I think that this is the main sport that I would like to have the chance to practice, or have the chance to be involved in, because I am a team player, and within a team, I feel in my comfort zone. Thank you very much.
Fantastically well done. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Khalil. Let us spin the wheel and find out who will be our next table topics commentator. Our next table topics commentator is our club mentor, Toastmaster Santosh. Toastmaster Santosh, your topic is, if you could choose any sport to be the #1 sport in the world, which sport would you choose? If you could choose any sport to be the #1 sport in the world, which sport would you choose? Toastmaster Santosh Abraham. You are on mute, sir.
So, table topic master and fellow Toastmasters, if I was given an option to choose one sport to be the top sport, I would go for hockey. And I've got a reason for this. I believe that hockey is a wonderful sport, but it's not getting its appropriate value. The first ever time I played hockey, I have tried my hands on different. I was a lousy football player. I did pretty okay in basketball, but the only sport that I favored very well was hockey. And it's not because I favored well. I've realized that sport is an amazing sport. And I was almost going to be in the school championship. But whenever I think about hockey, there's something that haunts me a lot. Because, when I was winning and I was progressing pretty well in hockey, my coach or the PT teacher in school was teaching me how to make a shot. When I was missing a couple of the shots, just teaching me how to make a shot. And or rather she was actually teaching somebody else how to do this. And she's taught me, and then she was teaching somebody else. By that time, I was leading the ball to the goal. And at that appropriate moment, she had swung that bat, and it hit me right here. And I don't know, my face was bloody, and they at that point in time they had to take me to the hospital. I had stitches, and every time I see a hockey stick, I really get haunted, So, but then, ever since, you would not believe, ever since then, I have never touched the hockey stick. But then, if given an opportunity, I want to go back and play hockey again. I want to overcome that fear, and I would like to have hockey put on the top list of the games, because that's a wonderful sport. Just that I've been backtracking on it because of my fear. And that's all from my side. Back to you, to a stable topic master.
Thank you very much for that fabulous commentary, Toastmaster Santosh. Let us see who will be our next table topics commentator. Let's go to our random selector wheel. Let's spin the wheel. And we come to our grammarian for today. We come to our secretary, Toastmaster Minam. Toastmaster Minam Aziz, your topic is people are the most important part of any sport. People are the most important part of any sport. Toastmaster Minam Aziz.
So if you look at any sport, you will see that there are two components. One is the players who are actually involved in the sports, and then there are spectators, who we can say that these are the people who are actually favoring one side, who are either with one side or the other side. So if the stadiums are full, if there is lots of hustle and bustle in the stadiums, then the players are motivated as well, and they know that the crowd is supporting them, and the crowd are there to see a good game, whether it is cricket, it is football, or any other game. And the number of viewers for any sports decide that how much that sport is actually popular in the world. And we have witnessed this thing that the football as of now is the most watched sport in the world because of people, because people like to see the match either by sitting at home, even if it is COVID and there are restrictions in the stadium, or but the preference of the people or the crowd is to go to the stadium and be physically present and enjoy the vibe there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary, Toastmaster Minam Aziz, for that very, very valuable table topics commentary. Let us move on to select our next table topics commentator. Let us spin the wheel, let us spin the wheel, let us spin the wheel. And that brings us to our next mentor, Toastmaster Gangadhar Rao.
Yes, sir.
Toastmaster Gangadhar Rao, your topic is bike racing is the most underrated sport of all. Bike racing is the most underrated sport of all. Toastmaster Gangadhar Rao, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Very good evening to you all, fellow Toastmasters. I don't know, maybe it's topic suitable, more suitable for me, but in my case, my experience, I would say it is not underrated, it is under fear actually. The many people not opt for it. It's a most of a fear of riding a bike, I would say, but it's really it's amazing sport as a sport or an activity, what you call it. I call it as a kind of a stress buster and activity, everything. Every time when I feel down and I'm not feeling physically well, or I'm having pain or leg pain, hand, whatever way you feel down, this one ride, the kind of adrenaline it pumps in me. It makes me forget everything. I am just rolling back my age, my fitness, everything. So it's all about doing things responsibly. Otherwise, the biking is the most adventurous and enjoyable ride. And I'm the one unique character who goes on this ride. I put my Bluetooth headphones and I put, normally people put all the jazz songs. I put my old classics of Kishore Kumar songs and I ride my Harley Davidson. That's a unique combination for me. It's a two parts of world. One side is slow music, other side is the bike which is roaring on the other side. So it's a unique experience. I always enjoy going on that weekend, a nice group of riders, and everybody should experience this in life as an activity. Thank you. Back to you, Tabletop.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mentor. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the profile picture of our mentor, you will know why he received that particular topic, because Toastmaster Gangadhar Rao is a big fan of Harley Davidson. Let us spin the wheel, let us spin the wheel, let us spin the wheel. We have two people left. Who will the wheel pick? And it is none other than our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ali Al-Aswad. And that gives Toastmaster Manisha an unfair advantage. You know that the next topic is coming to you. Toastmaster Ali, your topic is indoor sports are as important as outdoor sports. Indoor sports are as important as outdoor sports. Toastmaster Ali Al-Sawad, the screen is yours, sir.
Are you living in the GCC? Have you seen the humidity and the sun? Have you witnessed the sun 2 p.m. in the evening every day, going back and forth from work? From that thought, you would think, how could GCC population play sport? How can they enjoy sport if they only have 4 hours at night to wait for the weather to be okay and then play outdoor? From that point of view, I can see that indoor sports is very, very critical for GCC and for all the countries that encounter bad weather in summer. When you play indoor, you can feel the AC, you can see the lights, you can have decent population to see you and witness you. You can have the fans, you can hear the fans shouting. So indoor sports is more fun, and it is very important for the continuity and longevity of playing sports. That's it for me. In the end of the day, sports is number one, either indoor or outdoor. Over to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. K. Modi, and our table topics commentator, Toastmaster Ali Al-Sawad, for that amazing commentary on indoor and outdoor sports. So that brings us to our final table topics commentator. I will go to Toastmaster Manisha, and then I will ask Toastmaster Latifa if her call is over so that I can give her a final topic. Toastmaster Manisha Lenadura, your topic is, you want to play football, but there is no football. How do you play football? You want to play football, but there is no football. How do you play football? Toastmaster Manisha Lenadura, the screen is yours.
Do you actually need a football to play football? You have rules, you know the rules, you have your teammates, but then you don't have a football. Dear table topic master and dear fellow Toastmasters, good evening. I have played football without a football. We used old milk container, an iron metal container, and we used to kick around, or we used a plastic bottle and we used to kick around. We did not had a ground or football, golf or anything, but we marked our ground. This is your side, this is our side, and we used to play. When I was 13, while playing this way, I hit the bottle from one side, my friend hit the bottle from the other side. The plastic bottle flew away, we hit our legs together, and both of us cramped our legs. For 2 weeks, I could not walk. These are the pleasures we have in our childhoods. These are the pleasures we experience, that we take, the memories we take along our life. We don't need luxury. We don't always need things to make us satisfied, to spend our time. If we have people who cares, who can connect with us, things does not matter. Back to you, dear table topic master.
Very much, Toastmaster Manisha Lenadura, for that wonderful table topics commentary. That brings us to the end of our table topic session. Thank you to all the table topics commentators. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Mr. President, for wonderful table topics and giving all of us the floor to speak, and for having enough topics for all of us, which I will assume you prepared it and you didn't prepare it just now. Okay, so without further much ado, let's move on to our general evaluation session comments. Over to Toastmaster Santosh to take over this session. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Day, Toastmaster Ali, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters. What a lovely, lively session with just 8 members. It shows that what a vibrant crowd can do together. Just 7 and 8, we can capture the world. So before even I say anything, let's give a round of applause to all of us here. Now, the reason we have a general evaluation session, even if it's a short meeting like this, is to provide a constructive feedback on the conduct of the roles and performance of the whole meeting. And the role of a general evaluator, as the name suggests, is to be a critic of anything and everything throughout the meeting. Critic here means a creative critic. I'm not here to criticize anybody, but in Toastmasters, we don't criticize. We're here to improve let each other improve. And we are the mirrors for each other here. And as a general evaluator here, I'm going to give you some suggestions as to what I see it in my opinion. These are my personal opinions. It is not of the club or anybody else. So with my experience in Toastmasters, this could go. And I keep always talking about Robert Frost saying that education is the ability to listen to anything and everything without losing your patience. So that's what we learn in Toastmasters. So I do not evaluate the whole meeting. Fortunately, we have wonderful evaluators to do that. Maybe just 8 people together, but we have champion evaluators in this group. And they are the ones who are evaluating. And I am only here as a master of ceremony for the evaluation session. So let me move across to call upon the evaluators. So before I call upon the individual evaluators to present the evaluations, can I have our president, who's now holding 4 amazing roles, to please read out the timing just for the prepared speeches alone.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Both speakers have qualified. Toastmaster Latifa was at 4 minutes and 55 seconds, and myself was at 7 minutes and 19 seconds. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Evaluators, please note the timings. Yeah, both have been qualified. With that, the first speech presented by Toastmaster Latifa Soveile was a Project 2 speech level 1 of the presentation mastery path. The speech was evaluated by Toastmaster Gangadhar Rao. So Toastmaster Gangadhar, Would you please present the evaluations, please?
Thank you, General Evaluator. Fellow Toastmaster, very good evening to you all. What a timely speech. I mean, at this time of era, everybody is looking at questions towards employees, how to retain them. Even this was an interesting topic to connect, as we are all talking about attrition or attraction. That is a topic going on, and so Toastmaster Latifa rightly picked up about the employees' retention. It was a very good subject delivered based on a research material. The whole research material was studied well and taken the abstract of it and delivered very well. And particularly, very good examples was used out of the research. Whatever the examples, part of the research was delivered very well, explaining about the motivational factors and financial factors and different examples quoted very well. And this is my second speech I am listening to Toastmaster Latifa. I think this is your second speech. I was there in the first speech as well. Always, she is very good at body language using the gestures and vocal variety, very pleasant vocal variety. It goes into the like a wave. And clarity and comfort. She obviously she loves the subject, it looks like. So the clarity and comfort is there in the speech, and interest and enjoying the speech, which is more important. With all these things, I just want to suggest give few recommendations to make it better and take it to the next level as per the Toastmaster guidelines. Always try to deliver speech in a standing position. Of course, we are all into this virtual environment. We got used to it. I know that. But that will make your life difficult when you go to the real stage. So yeah, so better to practice that way, and so that you can also use the stage very well in the speech. You can create a drama there between the employee and employer. So there is a good opportunity to stand and use the stage to create some drama. And one small thing I want to suggest, use a lot of good examples. There is a thin line difference between a good examples and good stories. So an example can be told like a story. So you have to add a little bit of names, little bit of characters. So stories are better than examples. Examples, of course, could be, but the main topic is how to tell it like a story. The same example convert into a story with adding little characters and names and this thing here. That's one part. And the most important thing is in Toastmasters is the time. You still left with almost 1.5 minutes left in the speech, the allotted time. So you should try to practice and utilize the full time allotted for you, because we are all lucky to have such a time allotted in Toastmasters to deliver the speeches. We will never waste it. So we have to utilize the full time. Overall, in summary, a good speech in terms of the gestures, body language, vocal variety, and comfort and confidence. All you have to use a little bit of stage usage and stand and deliver the speech, which can take you to the next level. Thank you. Back to you, General.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gangadhar. That was a very valuable, very lively, and very practical evaluation. And now with that, we move across to, I do agree with what Toastmaster Gangadhar says. Like, if you could speak so well sitting, imagine what you could do when you stand up and speak. I know you can only move to the left 1 inch, one step to the left and one step to the right. Even that will make a lot of difference with the virtual environment. Now, moving on to the second speech and the final speech for the day. Second speech was by our president and our champion speaker, DTM Hisham Jeffrey. Was Project 1 speech from level 3 of the Engaging Humor Path, and it was evaluated by Toastmaster, our mentor, Toastmaster sponsor rather, Toastmaster Manisha Lenadora. Toastmaster Manisha, can we have your evaluations on that speech, please?
Tough time never lasts, but tough people do. What a tough message to deliver in a humorous speech. But DTM Hisham, the tough man, did exactly the same today with the speech title, COVID Calamities. Dear General Evaluator and fellow Toastmasters, good evening. DTM Hisham used smart humor in his speech. The first one, repetition. He said first time, second time, third time when he tested for COVID, it was negative. This is a good use of repetition to bring humor to his speech. Then he used good word play. He said negative results were good in examinations, but not now. Good word play he had. And tires lose air, my lungs lose air. Again, smart wordplay to bring in humor in your speech. Thirdly, he had a humorous message. It was a serious message, but he crafted and put it in a way which is humorous. Pause before pay. The fourth one, he used the props very smartly to bringing humor to the speech. The mask and the sunglasses. He did not describe how he got confused with his glasses and his sunglasses, but he showed it very smartly. Smart use of props. Then to move on to the language, he had excellent use of language. He used anaphoras, rhymes, and descriptive words. He even mentioned which tire lost the air. To make this strong speech much more strong, I would like to recommend reduce the indications and tell the audience what it exactly is. When you mention that you over prepare by saying, I found this location, that location, yes, it was good. But if you, before saying that, if you could have said, I'm a perfectionist, and when your car tire lose the air, it could have connected very well and bring in more, could have helped to bring in more humor. Secondly, descriptions are good, but use descriptions to make an impact. Which car lost the air does not make an impact on audience. Use the description to make an impact. In summary, great use of smart humor. Incorporate the suggestions. We hope to see you in the toughest stage, the World Champion of Public Speaking this year. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manisha, for that detailed analysis and the constructive feedback. With that, we come to the end of both these speech evaluations. Well, there's another evaluator in our midst. He's normally not called as an evaluator, but he is definitely doing evaluation of all the words that we used all through. And keeping a very calm nature, resilient nature is still there around. And he's not going to now let us know about the usage of words being used during this evening. So I'd now like to call upon our third evaluator, rather, on the vocabulary and language, Toastmaster Minam, who is our grammarian for the day. Please welcome Toastmaster Minam Aziz.
Hi everyone. So I cannot present a formal report, but I will just go through the points which I have noted down. So from grammar point of view, there were some sentences which were used. I would give the feedback for them. First thing was, it is my very great pleasure. And then next one is, what is your favorite sports? And then next was, it was stuck in my mind for a very long time. Next is, monetary is important. And next one is, if someone wants to share his opinion. So if you would like, I can tell you the correct sentences against these as well. Okay. Okay, and then the word of the day was resilient, and it was used 6 times during the meeting. That's all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Minam. With that, we come to the end of the grammarian's report. And now, I would now request the timer to read out the time taken by the table topics commentators and evaluators, if you can. Timer.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. All table topics commentators and all evaluators have qualified. There are no disqualifications.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Timer. Now, I know there is no partial voting here, so wait for it at the end of the meeting with just a small...
Voting link is ready. The voting link is ready, and I can give the accountant's report as well.
Yeah, okay. In that case, we will move across to the accountant's report. But before that, yeah, let's move across the accountant's report. You can do the voting link at the moment. It's fine. It's difficult to vote today because all of you did pretty well. All right. Okay. Toastmaster DTM Hisham, can we come with your account report, please?
So while the voting is going on, thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. The report for the gap fillers and the catchwords are as follows. The use of "are" during the meeting today, 15 times. The use of which was the most used gap filler, 27 times during the meeting. Surprisingly, we had 9 times during the meeting. And also towards the second half of the meeting, we had the use of the word "so" 8 times, and we had 3 repeated words during the meeting. And this is the accountant's report. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, DTM Hisham. That was a very comprehensive one, in fact. Thank you so much. And with that, now I've scribbled up some feedbacks for the rest of the meeting. Let me go forward for that. Now, without me stating, you know that the meeting started a little late. We were supposed to be meeting at 6:50 p.m. for the socialization, but even at 6:77, we were still socializing. And 7:10, 4:13, I think we started the meeting. And now it's not something that none of us can really help much, but everybody is busy, I understand. But it'll be great if you could spare some time earlier and come across at least a little earlier than 7. At least the role player should be here before that, so that the meeting can start off and take off with at the right time. The president was here, and when I came in, it's just me and the president, and of course some of them. We had 4 here till 7:07. We only had 4 people. So but the president still stayed very resilient and calm all through, and I really appreciate him for that. I know we know that if it's 4, yeah, I've worn 4 hats. I will wear 10 if it's necessary. That's what his facial expression showed. That shows his experience. But still, I think members should cooperate and come across. We need more people coming across, because every role player here in BFP are amazing. So if you come across, you're really helping each other. I've learned a lot from all of you. So that's my first observation, is that, let's be on time. And I think it's the only meeting where we had started a lot later, according to my knowledge. Everywhere else, we have at least started off a bit. 5 minutes is fine, okay, but then 15 minutes is a little late. So that's my observation out here. Now, moving on to the Southern Arms, who was also holding a dual role here today. Did a fairly good job starting off even late, but then she came across. He was there before that. A very enthusiastic introduction, a clear, brief, and welcoming manner. He's done that. He started the meeting very effectively with a formal welcome, smoothly passed on the control to the president. Congratulations, Toastmaster Ali, for a very organized introduction and very well explained about the the online presentation, and we are on a virtual platform that has been very clearly explained as to how the meeting conduct goes on. Very good done. A round of applause to our Sergeant-at-Arms. Now, moving on, it is smoothly passed on to the president. President is an experienced pro, so he came across. The opening remarks, he had a very welcoming and very personal. Even if seeing just a few members here, he was very resilient, calm, but still did not deprive others of what they need to get during. The presidential address was very good. The presidential address was, I had the limelight on the Founders Day, and it was very encouraging and very informative too. Now it was brief, it was concise, and it was apt. Just an improvement on, I know we had very few people, so some things we naturally skip off, is that the agenda was not actually adopted today, which all happens when, when you have a small meeting, you feel that it's just few things. Usually the quorum has to be established, but I'm not really pressing on that. The quorum part, we just had few, so we just say a word there, we don't have the quorum, but can we go forward? And the business session, we only had very few officers, but it was very smoothly in control, taken on very well. The parliamentary procedures were followed aptly, seconded, the proposed by somebody, seconded at the right time. The other business matters was called up. The area director spoke and the mentor spoke. So it is quite positive and encouraging. And as a president, you have taken up 4 hats. And my only recommendation, I say you have no choice, I understand, but please leave the timer alone as one person, because timing is it's not difficult, easy to take the timing and the others together. I know you are not in a single side in all the 4, but still let the timer, we'll like to have a timer as a timer alone. I mean, he can take up a table topics, that's okay, not a problem. Yeah, 4 roles. I mean, our president was forced to take the 4 roles because we didn't have many people coming up. Let's try to have a lot of people, calling up a lot of people. I think mentors also, we are also at fault. Me and Toastmaster Gangadhar needs to be inviting people also. I think this also calls up that, we also need to be active right now, calling up people and asking whether they are going to be there. And let's do that. So we, all the 4 roles put across to us with the president, you have done a wonderful job together. A big round of applause to our president, DTM Hisham Jeffrey. Okay, the table topics master, Toastmaster Manisha Lenodor, are you there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
No, it was not Manisha. It was actually
Hisham, yes.
Manisha, it was Hisham. Hisham, I really like that role well. Even with the few people available here, you have taken on that role pretty well. You did not skip and you did not become complacent just because there are few people. Every topic, I realized that, it was, people do not have to use a lot of imagination. They can just come with their experience and share. So I guess I enjoyed everybody's topic today. And because the questions were also aired in such a manner. And towards the end, I was wondering, is he only concentrating only on outdoor sport? And then he'd leave the part that he got in the indoor sport too. So very comprehensively covered and well done, table topic master. A big round of applause to you too for that role. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ali Hassan Al-Sawad. You said you're doing it for the first time, but journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, and this step was a leap. Well done. And you have you started off very, very, very concise, lively introduction, very smooth delivery. You were not too wordy, but one thing I liked about you right from the beginning, you initiated dialogues. It's something that only a pro can take over. You have initiated dialogues that made the meeting lively, not just during the initial session, but then even afterwards. After the first speaker, you asked about opinions. You know that there was a lot of time because we have at least 2 speakers and maybe a few people, but you kept everybody alive and active with that dialogue. And that's something which just comes up because you have the creativity in you. And just a recommendation and suggestion on my side, I would just say that, it's a good practice that the president talks about the founder or Dr. Alcis Bentley. And if the Toastmaster Day can, as a practice, talk about the club's history, a bit of the club's history that we formed on so-and-so day. And these are the sponsors, these are the mentors. And this may not make a lot of difference in the 7th meeting, but you call about the 50th and the 100th meeting. you're calling about the name of the sponsors and the mentors, they will come up. I've come in, I've been a sponsor of a meeting, and then I moved into their meeting at the 400th meeting, and they're calling on their name. And the TMOD says about me, and makes me feel good. Not just the fact that, they keep that history, I'm there from, we started on this date and so on. So just 2 lines of that would be good if you could adopt that as a practice. And the introduction of the speakers were also done just speaking from the heart, just like Sohaila was saying, Latifa was saying, it was not just a prepared thing, but it was very practically done, a good enthusiastic build-up you can have. Introduction of table topping master. It was very warm and personal. One thing I think you missed out being the first time is that you missed out asking the evaluators to read out the objectives of the speech. That's usually what we do. We ask the evaluators first to read out the objectives before you call upon the speakers. So first time these things can be avoided. And my role is to just pick up where you lost and just tell you, this could have been done. That's all. It's nothing to feel bad about. Big guys have done bigger mistakes. So there's nothing great. I think as such, I would say that you kept the meeting alive. You kept the meeting active. You kept the meeting enthusiastic. Even if it's just few members here, it was a wonderful meeting altogether. And the captain of the show needs to get a round of applause. Well done, Toastmaster Ali. And a quick run on the other functions. The timer, concise. I don't want to say anything much about it because I've been praising him a lot this time. The grammarian, the word of the day, resilient. Which means withstand, maintain calm. I feel that people could have even used it more, including myself. It's a very positive word which says calm or withstand. You can withstand during these terms. And a very apt word, in fact, a positive word. Explanation was very precise and concise. Inspires us to be more resilient in life, rather. And well done, Toastmaster Mina. Well done for that. Let's give a round of applause to our grammarian. Evaluators, in fact, both of you have done wonderfully well. Toastmaster Gangadhar and Toastmaster Manisha. I've really enjoyed both your evaluations today. Both of them are very practical, very constructive, very lively. And round of applause to both our evaluators. In fact, I found it very difficult to vote. Both of you had, sorry, did I go off? Yeah. Both of you have done a wonderful job today. That's what I said. It's a small meeting, but we had all the role players doing a great job altogether. Altogether, I feel that, and the accounter's role, yes, our counter, and that's what I said, I'm again praising him because, you get four caps together and you do all the 4 caps well, in fact, when we used to play athletics, when you win in 3 games together, you get a championship. Now he's got 4. No, so I don't know what you call above a champion. So it is all 4 done together. But let's not stress our president more. Next time others should be sharing his responsibility too. Overall, just 7 to 8 members, but a wonderfully done meeting. Let's give a round of applause to everybody who's taken up the role. Table topic commentators, you were also wonderful and excellent. And with that, I conclude my comments as a general evaluator and pass the baton back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Santosh, for your general evaluation. Let's give a round of applause for our general evaluator. So over to our Mr. President to show us the results of the polls.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you very much for taking us through one really memorable meeting. So next year, October 2022, first meeting in October, let us also try to meet physically in these same sports jerseys as well and celebrate the anniversary of this very great meeting. Before we wind up the meeting, let us see who have been the top performers for the day. The best table topics commentator, Toastmaster Manisha Lenadara, well done. The best evaluator, it represents the toughness of all of it. It is a tie, Toastmaster Gangadhar Rao and Toastmaster Manisha Lenadara. And the best speaker of the day today is none other than Toastmaster Latifa Al-Suwaile, speaking about the value of non-monetary rewards to employees. Very well done to all the speakers, very well done to the evaluators and the table topic commentators. Phenomenal performance. We are coming towards the last few moments of meeting number 7. Our next meeting will be held on the 25th of October. Why not the 18th? Because it is a very special themed meeting and the theme is going to be Halloween. The Toastmaster of the day will be Toastmaster Aisha Fazal. The theme will be Halloween, and that's why we have moved it closer to the 31st of October, which is closer to Halloween. So prepare your speeches, prepare your evaluations, shine off your table topic skills, get out your latest Halloween robes and get ready, because we will have the full 9 yards. We will go the full hog, and BFP will celebrate Halloween in this virtual platform. Meeting number 7 is hereby adjourned.